Turnover within an organization, of course, is very costly, but it's also disruptive to your team and super stressful for hiring managers, because maybe you're having to cover for that opening while you're interviewing during the hiring process. And then of course you have all of your other leadership duties that you're managing. So how can you make more of the right hires and with confidence? Well, you want to uncover what it is that is important to a candidate when you're going through the interview process, because you know your company's values, your company's goals, the culture of your company, and then the subculture of your team, what that looks like, what that feels like on a day-to-day. You know better than anybody the day-to-day responsibilities of your opportunity. Before taking time to share all of that with the candidate, find out what the candidate is looking for, what motivates them, what drives them. And it's not going to be the same for everyone. And of course, it's important to have a varied, diverse team that has different drivers, different motivators, different skill sets, because then everybody can come together and better leverage their resources. And then you have a more cohesive team that can go further, faster in achieving your goals. However, in the interview process, one tip that is super helpful in time management, I practice this myself. Every single interview, I start by focusing on the candidate. Now, a lot of times, or sometimes I should say, a candidate will want to dive right in and want me to just, as the recruiter, share with them the details of the opportunity so that they can assess their interest. No, that is not my job. I'm actually saving this candidate time by first taking a few minutes to understand, uncover what it is they want. Is there something that's missing in their current role? Are they actively looking, or are they just kind of open to opportunities? And if so, why might that be? And then I want to understand some things that are important to them in a next opportunity. That could take just 2 minutes. I could uncover in 2 minutes whether or not this candidate is not a fit, because this opportunity, this role, this company, and the culture is not that, and you're not going to be happy here. So it doesn't mean I'm going to end the conversation right then. I'll continue the conversation for a few minutes, learning a little bit about what it is they want so that I can better keep them in mind if I get another opportunity. But the other way that the call could have gone, so that could be a 5-minute conversation. Okay, so whenever I'm scheduling interviews, depending on the role, if it's a higher level or leadership role, I might block out like a 45-minute call, but otherwise it's typically 30-minute blocks. But that does not mean that I have to give my full 30 minutes if I learn in the first 2 to 5 minutes that this candidate actually is not a fit. It doesn't mean that they're not a good candidate. It just means that maybe this role is not what they're looking for, or maybe their skill set is not what the company is looking for. And that's okay. This is me giving the candidate back their time too. So I always start the conversation learning about the candidate, what drives them, what motivates them, what prompted them to take a call with me. Is there something missing in your current role? This is going to help me understand if the opportunity that we can potentially offer them is a fit. Then from there, if I assess that it could be, then I'm going to have some more questions about their skill set, about their specific experience, to understand if it's further a fit. So you want to conduct the conversation, guide the interview in a way with time management in mind, keeping in mind your time investment. This is a gift, and you want to invest your time and not spend your time where you're not making progress, because if this candidate is not a fit, guess what? Your team needs you, and you're going to make a bigger impact if you end the conversation, of course, in a nice way, and use the rest of your 40-minute time block or whatever it is to focus on something else. So circling back, I'm going to first take a couple minutes in the start of the conversation to learn about the candidate and what they're looking for, because this is not going to take much time if the candidate is articulate and knows what they want. Now, if they don't, then I likely want to end the conversation too, because if they don't know what they want, then we could potentially have some turnover down the line, because if they don't know what they want, then how can we know if it's a potential fit? But that's a different topic for another video. It's only going to take, you want to guide the conversation where keeping in mind the idea of investing the least amount of energy and the least amount of time. Interviewing takes a lot of energy, and you want to keep your energy. Okay, so I'm going to, for a couple minutes, find out what it is they're looking for and why. Then from there, it takes longer for me to dig and ask more questions, and longer for the candidate to answer about specific examples of their experience and their day-to-day. So this digging in is going to take a little bit longer. So then I've invested, if the first couple minutes, if it sounds like the candidate is a potential fit after the first few minutes, then I'm going to invest invest maybe 10 more minutes. So now we have 15 minutes. From there, if I learn that it's not a match, then I can end the conversation, and it's just been a 15-minute block of my time. If they are a potential fit, well, now after 15 minutes, I've assessed, okay, maybe we have a fit here. Now I'm going to talk about the opportunity, and then that's going to take another 5 to 10 minutes. So now we have 20 to 25 minutes. Then the candidate can assess if they're interested, if they feel like they're a fit. Then from there, if they are, they have more questions, they have some questions for me, and I have more questions for them. And this is a good investment of a 30-minute time block. What would not be a good investment of a 30-minute time block is if I first jump in and tell them all about the opportunity, all about the company, not all, but a little bit about the products and services. And after I spend 20 minutes talking about that, 15 to 20 minutes, and a lot of energy, and then they say, oh, actually, that's not what I'm looking for. What a waste of time. That is how stringent I am with my time blocks. And I encourage hiring managers to do the same, and recruiters. Now, hopefully, you have a good relationship with your recruiter and they are doing this digging for you up front, and then they are hopefully only sending you potentially qualified candidates. But still, there's an interview process for a reason, so some details could not have been fully heard or processed, and you could interview some candidates that learn after the conversation, you know what, this is actually not what I'm looking for. But just keep in mind your time investment and time blocks, and share just enough information, ask just enough questions initially, and then build throughout the interview, giving more time only when it makes sense. So I hope that was helpful. If you got some value from the video, I invite you to like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay updated on my next video, and I'll see you in the next one.